This is Witch-based news for Friday the 17th of July 2026. I'm Commander Buur. In Elite Dangerous news this week, we have two new fantastic community created guide resources. This week's CG helps aid the celebrations in Colonia. The science journal Space.com takes a fascinating look into the scale of Elite Dangerous, and more. If you enjoy our videos, please consider subscribing to the channel and be sure to hit the notification bell so that you never miss an update or community post. And if you'd like to help support our channel, you can also join us on Patreon. Links to that and everything else are in the description below. One quick note before we dig into the main body of news this week. Frontier are continuing to adjust and tweak the game, both server and client side, following the deployment of the operations update just over 2 weeks ago. The game has seen some short unexpected downtime to address connection and latency issues, and some extended downtime was scheduled into the weekly server bounce on Thursday to give colonisation and power play processes more time to update. It's worth bearing in mind that, in line with what FDev announced before Ops was deployed, the team had been expecting to tweak the network and balance around operations post launch, but we are also seeing multiple reports from across the community that the update has caused some problems elsewhere in the game, notably with regard to power play and in particular colonisation, so much so that it might be worth exercising a degree of caution in either of those activities right now until they're somewhat more stable. If however you are engaging with either of those systems and you do encounter problems, then hitting the issue tracker and raising a ticket or adding your contribution to an existing one is a sound policy to follow. Elite Dangerous, being the complex game that it is, generates a huge amount of data that is utilised by its community of commanders to better navigate the many systems and routes both through and around its 1-to-1 scale galaxy. That data is frequently coalesced around third-party applications and tools, many of which we've documented on this channel before. So numerous however are the applications around Elite Dangerous that keeping track of all of them, both old favourites and new ones on the scene alike, can be overwhelming. To deal with this issue specifically then, Commander Fraximus has developed the website ED.Tools as a modern and updated searchable archive and database of the very best that the vibrant Elite Dangerous development community has to offer. The list of applications and web tools are tagged according to function and type, and those tags can be clicked on to refine the list to zero into exactly what you might be looking for. Just recently, Fraximus has added a new tab to the website that aims to do exactly the same, but instead for the game's many guides and tutorials. Again, these are tagged by subject, etc. An invaluable resource for all commanders regardless of your play style. You'll find ED.Tools by Commander Fraximus linked in the description below. While we're on the subject of guides, here's something of particular relevance right now that has also just been added to ED.Tools. Whilst the latest significant new feature added to Elite Dangerous, Operations, features both space and on-foot missions as well as ops that feature both, it has undoubtedly given on-foot gameplay in Elite a focus that it was previously lacking. This sudden focus has led to many commanders seeking to gather, upgrade and engineer on-foot equipment where they might not have bothered before. As with ship engineering, getting to the engineers in the first place is just the start of the journey, and there is a path littered with tasks and dependencies that has to be followed to unlock the featy engineers, just like there is with the more shippy based counterparts. The steps needed can seem daunting at first, but for the most part at least, it's actually quite achievable. Into that treacherous chasm then steps the streamer Commander Jakar Falcon, who has created a detailed and extensive step-by-step guide on Reddit to unlocking every single on-foot engineer in the bubble, walking you through everything you need to do and how to achieve it. If you've just started the unlocking process, you're part way through, or you're stuck on a particularly tricky bit, yeah, I'm looking at you, Terra Velasquez, then it's an absolutely invaluable piece of work. As always, you'll find the full guide linked in the description below, where you'll also find a link to Jakar Falcon on Twitch. In a post to Galnet during the week, it was hinted that we could likely expect a hauling based community goal this week, and after the servers returned from their weekly recycle on Thursday, it duly arrived. If you missed our video during the week, it's linked on screen now for you, but the slightly shorter version goes as follows. There's going to be a party in Colonia to celebrate the anniversary of its foundation following the accidental and untimely arrival of Jacques' station in the region some 10 years ago. Part of that celebration will be the foundation of a new mega market to help the distant outpost prosper, and I suspect also throw one hell of a hootenanny. In order to facilitate the aforementioned hootenannying and nouveau marketeering, Colonia needs supplies from the bubble, and that's where you come in. The Peters base starport in the Flossys system is asking for deliveries of the following commodities whilst offering 4.5 times price multipliers for your trouble. That's consumer technology, beer, wine, polymers, building fabricators, auto fabricators, conductive fabrics, or any rare goods. The system in question is deep in the heart of Imperial territory and usually requires a permit to access, and this was indeed somewhat of an issue for some commanders without the required Imperial rank when the CG launched. However, in a rare show of unity and cooperation, the Empire appears to have dropped the permit requirement for the moment at least, and anyone is free to enter. As well as the usual tier based credit rewards, commanders in the top 75% of contributors will receive a duo of paint jobs when the goal ends in 1 week on the 16th of July. One for the Panther Clipper and one for the Type 8. You can see those paint jobs on screen now. There's a very helpful post on the forums from Commander Flossy with details on how much the commodities are selling for in the target system and the nearest places to buy those commodities from according to Inara. All of that is of course linked below. It goes without saying, I think, at this point that space, the great cosmic collective containing absolutely everything that we can conceivably be aware of at this early stage in our development as a species, is really chuffing big. When it comes to popular storytelling in television, books, movies, or indeed video games, the sheer actual real scale of the universe, even on a local level in our tiny, largely quite ordinary solar system, is quite hard to really get across in a way that our evolved, but still somewhat limited, monkey brains can comprehend. Generally speaking, for reasons of plot and expediency, the real universal scale of things is circumvented with convenient, somewhat hand-wavy tropes such as warp drives, hyperspace and suspended animation, to name but 3. Elite Dangerous, as we know, gets round the problem with the frameshift drive, utilising faster than light supercruise and more recently supercruise overcharge in local space and hyper or witch space for travelling truly interstellar distances between stars. As we know, Elite Dangerous mixes real world data with science based procedural generation to give us a 1-to-1 scale galaxy that contains some 400 billion stars. Conversely, the universe of X4 takes a completely different handcrafted approach, delivering a much smaller overall galaxy but also doing something very different but equally excellent to Elite. When I'm asked for my opinion, I always say if you're going to play one space simulator, it should be Elite Dangerous. If you're going to play two, however, the other one should be X4. This very issue was tackled by the much respected online science journal Space.com this week, and Elite Dangerous together with X4 Foundations are central to the article, which makes a particular point of highlighting these two titles because of the very different way they handle space, the size of space and expedient travel through it, whilst wrestling with the ever present tyranny of scale and distance that they both have to overcome in order to make their stories meaningful whilst still fitting into a desktop PC. as well as containing interview quotes from those responsible inside both camps, X4 and Elite Dangerous. It's a fascinating read that really helps to convey the scale of the problem. In particular, the article talks to astrophysicist Dr. Jeffrey Bennett, author of the book The Scale of the Universe, and gives some mind-boggling analogies on universal scale that are worth the price of admission alone. You'll find the article Why Space Games Still Struggle with the Scale of the Universe from space.com linked in the description below this video. Have you encountered any problems with power play or colonisation recently? Are you just getting round to unlocking the Odyssey on-foot engineers, or will you be hauling for the current community goal? Let us know in the comments below. That's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be back later this week with more videos. Until then, 07 Commanders, follow the greens on the way out and do keep clear of the toast rack. We very much look forward to seeing you next time.